The night sky over Moscow lit up like never before. What was once considered an untouchable capital has now become the center of a firestorm. Ukrainian drones pierced through one of the world's most defended airspaces, leaving behind explosions, flames, and shockwaves across Russia's heartland. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Future Force Skies and Skills channel. Please subscribe and like my videos, because today we're diving into breaking news. Ukrainian drones turn Moscow into firestorm. Because today we're diving into one of the most dramatic and shocking developments in modern warfare. Breaking news, Ukrainian drones have turned Moscow into what many are calling a firestorm. But instead of simply reporting, we're going to review this event through the lens of a product breakdown. We'll look at the exterior design of these drones, their interior components, performance on the battlefield, safety features, unique selling points, the price, both financially and politically, and finally a conclusion about what this means for the future of war. The world has watched with intensity as drone warfare moved from isolated battlefields into the heart of major cities. And now, Moscow itself has been shaken by this storm of flying machines. Let's begin by breaking down the exterior. The exterior of these drones is deceptively simple, but simplicity is often the hallmark of battlefield efficiency. Ukrainian engineers have leaned heavily on streamlined designs that balance stealth with durability. Small drones are painted in muted, radar, absorbing colors like gray and matte black, allowing them to blend into the night sky. Larger attack drones come with angular fuselages designed not for beauty, but for practicality, like floating daggers in the air. This exterior design also reflects adaptability. Drones can be customized with makeshift materials, making them cheap and hard to predict. Even the exterior noise signature is a factor. Many eyewitnesses in Moscow described hearing only a faint buzzing, like a swarm of angry bees, seconds before the explosions lit up the night sky. That is no accident. Engineers have minimized acoustic signatures, so by the time you hear them, it's already too late. In terms of exterior weapon loadouts, some drones carry small, high-explosive warheads, others simply act as scouts. Together, they create a deadly combination that is both low-tech and high-impact. If you look at the burnt skyline of Moscow after the attacks, you'll understand how effective that exterior really is. Moving to the interior, the story gets even more interesting. While outsiders might imagine advanced Western systems inside these drones, the truth is far more creative. Ukrainian drone interiors are a patchwork of both homemade and imported components. Inside, you may find commercial off-the-shelf GPS systems, repurposed engines from model aircraft, and communication chips modified to withstand electronic warfare. This short interior overview shows how flexible Ukraine's approach has been. They don't need billion-dollar budgets when they can rewire civilian technology for combat use. Interior fuel tanks are compact. Batteries are optimized for endurance, and navigation systems are often layered with redundancies. That way, if Russia jams one frequency, another backup keeps the drone on course. The interior is not glamorous, but it is smart. Every centimeter of space is maximized for explosive payloads or flight range. Now let's talk about performance. Performance is the area where these drones shine most, and Moscow has just experienced the devastating results. Ukrainian drones have proven themselves in multiple categories: speed, maneuverability, endurance, and effectiveness. Reports indicate that some of the drones launched from hundreds of kilometers away, flying low and weaving through radar blind spots before striking their targets. That means their endurance is solid, proving they can cover long ranges. Their maneuverability is another advantage. Many Russian air defenses struggled to track and shoot them down. The drones fly low, they change direction unpredictably, and they are small enough to confuse radar. As for speed, while not supersonic, they are fast enough to minimize reaction times. Combined, this makes for a weapon that performs consistently under high-risk conditions. Moscow's skyline on fire is testimony to their ability to deliver results even against one of the most defended cities in the world. Performance also extends to cost efficiency. Unlike manned bombers, which risk pilots and require massive logistics, drones deliver destruction at a fraction of the price. A drone costing a few $1,000s can damage or destroy infrastructure worth millions. That's performance beyond numbers, it's strategy in motion. This is why Ukraine has turned to swarms. When dozens or even hundreds of drones are launched at once, performance isn't just about the individual machine, but about overwhelming the opponent's defenses through sheer numbers. Russia's expensive anti-aircraft missiles are often wasted on drones that cost less than a family car. This economic mismatch is part of the performance equation, and it tilts heavily in Ukraine's favor. Safety features might sound odd when talking about a weapon, but they exist in their own way. For the Ukrainian operators, safety comes in the form of distance. Pilots sit far from the battlefield, controlling drones remotely, meaning human life is protected while machines take the risks. Another safety element is the autonomy built into some systems. If a drone loses contact, many are programmed to continue toward their target using preloaded coordinates. That prevents failed missions. Safety for civilians is also a consideration, at least in principle. Some drones are programmed to hit infrastructure targets like oil depots, military airfields, or command centers, rather than residential areas. However, the chaos of war means accidents are inevitable. Still, compared to ballistic missiles, drones offer more precise strikes, which can reduce collateral damage. The safety features also extend to resilience. If one drone is lost, the mission is not compromised because swarms are cheap to replace. In short, the safety aspect of drones lies in protecting human operators and maximizing efficiency while minimizing wasted effort. Now, let's analyze the unique selling points. What makes these drones stand out compared to traditional weapons? First, accessibility. Unlike jets, tanks, or submarines, drones are accessible to nations without massive defense budgets. Ukraine has demonstrated that with resourcefulness, even a smaller country can challenge a superpower. Second, unpredictability. These drones can be launched from trucks, forests, or even modified civilian locations. Their flight paths are irregular, making them harder to anticipate. Third, psychological impact. Moscow, the heart of Russia, has been struck multiple times, spreading fear and uncertainty among its citizens and leadership. The image of fire raging across Moscow skyscrapers is not just a tactical success, it's a symbolic one. Another unique selling point is adaptability. These drones can be modified within weeks to carry different payloads, from explosives to surveillance equipment. They can be upgraded rapidly, keeping them ahead of static defense systems. Finally, their cost-effectiveness is unmatched. When one cheap drone can neutralize or damage high-value targets, it changes the economics of war permanently. Let's consider the price, not just in financial terms, but in geopolitical and human terms. Financially, these drones are cheap to produce compared to the damage they inflict. that makes them extremely attractive to Ukraine and potentially to other nations or groups in the future. Politically, the price is far higher. Every strike on Moscow escalates tensions, risking retaliation and potentially widening the conflict. Russia must decide whether to respond with harsher military action, which could spiral into greater instability. For the Russian population, the price comes in fear. Cities once considered untouchable are now vulnerable. For Ukraine, the price includes the risk of international backlash, as some allies worry about escalation. The human price is also significant. While drones aim for military or industrial targets, civilians inevitably feel the shockwaves, fires, destruction, and the collapse of daily life. So the price here is not just dollars, but trust, stability, and human safety. Finally, the conclusion. What do these drone strikes on Moscow mean for the future of warfare? First, they prove that no city is safe. The age of secure capitals is over. Any nation with sufficient technology or creativity can strike deep into enemy territory without traditional armies. Second, it shows that drones are not just tools, but game changers. They shift the balance of power, allowing weaker nations to punch far above their weight. Third, this event in Moscow signals a new psychological battlefield. Leaders must not only defend physical infrastructure, but also the confidence of their people. When citizens see their city burning, the government's power looks weaker. For Ukraine, this is both a tactical and symbolic victory. For Russia, it is a wake-up call that their defenses, once thought impenetrable, have vulnerabilities, and for the world, it's a warning. Drone warfare is not the future, it is the present, and it is reshaping global conflict in real time. So there you have it. From the exterior to the interior, performance, safety features, unique selling points, price, and final conclusion, Ukrainian drones have turned Moscow into a case study for the future of war. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to subscribe to Future Force Skies and Skills, drop a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because what we are witnessing is history unfolding in the skies, and it's only the beginning.